Have you ever felt a strange chill in your own home, a whisper at the edge of your peace, even though every door was locked and every light was on? Cancer. If a shiver just ran down your spine at the sound of that question, know that it is no accident. Within the next 72 hours, something is drawing near, and it carries a message the universe insists you must hear. Do not turn away, because what you are about to discover may stand as the boundary between your inner sanctuary and the shadows seeking to disturb it. And our journey begins right here with Part 1, The Unease Within. 3 days, a number that seems ordinary, and yet within its depths lies an urgent whisper meant for your soul. Have you ever been startled awake by a familiar sound only to find the silence that follows feels heavier, colder than before? Have you ever noticed a tiny crack appearing in the comfort you've built? A subtle shift in the energy of your most cherished spaces, as though someone unseen were quietly watching. Sometimes when unease does not come from the grand upheavals outside, but from the tiny cracks that slip silently into the heart of your own familiar home. And it is often those small moments that make your heart race faster, as if sounding an alarm that something is approaching. What is frightening is not the strangers out there, but the unsettling silence that lingers in your familiar room. It is being in your own house, yet sensing a presence that clings to your every move, threatening the very safety you hold so dear. Others may say you worry too much, that it is only your imagination, but remember, this Cancer God never allows you to mistake your own intuition. He has placed within you a second pair of ears to hear the whispers no one else can. He has planted within you a third eye to see what human sight cannot, and he is awakening you right now. In the next 72 hours, there will be a sign that makes you stop. It could be a harmless phone call, a passing remark from someone close, or a single line of text appearing when you least expect it. Do not ignore it. Those scattered fragments are the most delicate warnings the universe knows how to send. They are not here to sow fear, but to give you time to prepare, to remind you that you are never alone on this path. I want you to listen closely to your heart. If a fragile voice rises from within, that is God whispering. He does not shout. He does not force. He always chooses to awaken with gentle stirrings. That uneasy feeling you carry inside is heaven's alarm. Do not dismiss it. Do not let reason silence the truth your soul already holds. Cancer, you are the quintessential water sign, the protector of the zodiac wheel, holding the deep emotional wisdom of all who came before. That is why when unease touches, you do not belittle yourself. It is not weakness, it is refinement, because you feel more than others. You can sense the shadow before it fully cloaks your home, and I want you to act now. Write the word sanctuary in the comments. Do not think of it as a mere game. Every letter you type is an invisible shield rising around your soul, around your sacred space. It is your way of declaring to the universe, I choose light. I choose the sanctuary of God. And when hundreds, thousands of Cancerians type this word together, a circle of energy is formed surrounding us all like candles glowing in the night. But remember, this is only the beginning. What you have just heard is not the whole picture. For darkness does not only slip through strange messages or unexpected calls, it can also wear a familiar face, smiling at you every day while you believe you are cared for. An invisible blade may already be waiting for the moment you let down your guard. Cancer, take a deep breath, look into your heart. Can you feel it? Something greater is shifting. And in the next part, I will tell you about betrayal from within your closest circle. That is the shadow you must face. Do you feel the suspense rising? If you do, that is the sign you are meant to stay, because this journey has only just begun and you cannot miss what lies ahead. Cancer, Hold your heart still for a moment, because the truth I am about to whisper may make you shiver. Darkness does not always come from outside. Sometimes it wears the clothing of familiarity, the embrace that once made you feel safe, that once felt like home. And that is what terrifies you most. Betrayal does not come from strangers, but from the one to whom you once gave your deepest trust. Have you ever sat beside someone, listening to their sweet words, while your heart trembled under an invisible current of unease? You cannot name the reason. It might be their glance shifting away, a concern that feels too heavy, or a helping hand you never asked for. Cancer trusts that instinct. It is not random. It is the alarm ringing. God gave you this gift, not so you would doubt everyone, but so you could protect your soul. He sees what your eyes have not yet seen. He knows that your love, your limitless compassion, your desire to nurture can sometimes become the doorway for others to take advantage. And He is urging you, awaken, my child. Do not let your trust become chains that bind your spirit. I know you have told yourself, maybe I am too sensitive, maybe I overthink. But Cancer, the truth is you are not imagining too much. Your intuition is the antenna that connects directly to the deepest layers of the universe. When you feel uneasy, it means your soul has already seen the hidden dagger tucked into the sleeve of someone familiar, and that pain is sharper than any fear coming from outside. In the next 3 days, a familiar pattern may repeat itself. Someone sends you a message, but their words no longer match the look they once gave you. Someone offers you advice, yet deep in your heart, a whisper rises. Be careful. Do not dismiss it. Do not let kindness lower the walls that protect you and your sacred space. I want you to perform a small ritual right now. Write the first letter of the person who has recently made you uneasy in the comments. Just a single letter, no explanation. But as you write it, you are calling the shadow by name and taking back the power from its hand. For once light points straight into the hidden place, the shadow will tremble. And when thousands of Cancerians call the names together, a sacred circle will rise, a place no harm can pierce. Cancer, you are not meant to carry the whole world on your shoulders. You only need to choose who is worthy to walk beside you, to enter your inner sanctum. Remember, God sees your heart clearly, but He also sees the dishonest hearts around you. Do not fear losing. Sometimes, to preserve the soul and your peace, you must let go of those who never truly held your hand. Let me be clear. If you feel someone is suddenly too kind, watch carefully. If you find yourself being asked about unusually, often listen to your heart. Do not forget, a betrayer rarely comes with an angry face, but with a gentle smile. Do you still believe this is mere coincidence? If you are watching this video just as suspicion stirs in your heart, then it is proof you were guided to hear these words. There is no coincidence, only divine arrangement. But Cancer, this is only the second part. The darkness does not only wear familiar faces, it also knows how to reach the most fragile place, your mind. And in the next part, I will reveal how invisible strikes are aimed directly at your sleep, your peace, and your mental well-being. Will you dare to continue with me and listen? If you are ready, type the word sanctuary once again. Let it be your vow. You are not alone. You have chosen the light, and you are ready to walk through the darkness toward the dawn of your soul. Cancer, some shadows do not only wear human shapes, they are subtler, more cunning, because even the person before you may not know they are being used as a vessel for a force greater than themselves. That is the most chilling part. The one who hurts you may not fully realize what they are doing. They are simply being pushed, manipulated, guided by an unseen hand. Try to remember, how many times in your life have you seen the same cycle repeat? Everything seems calm, secure, and then suddenly a storm arrives, sweeping it all away, as if someone unseen pulls down the curtain just as you start to feel safe. Cancer, that is not random. That is the trace of a karmic loop you have not yet broken. The one you doubt now, whether a colleague, a relative, or even a friend, may be becoming a puppet for that force. They are blinded by envy, greed, hidden fears in their heart. And those empty spaces allow the shadow to slip in, using them as a mask to test you. But Cancer, do not rush into hatred. They are not the true enemy. The real enemy is the force behind them: jealousy, dark energy, old karma, not yet cleansed. God sees this truth clearly. He knows your confusion and sorrow, yet He also whispers, "Do not look at the human face. Look at the soul behind. You are not fighting them. You are breaking the cycle that darkness has built." In the coming days, you may face a strange situation. Someone may suddenly bring you a story and offer a circumstance that touches your compassion. You will feel pity. You will feel the urge to reach out to nurture. But Cancer, that is your blind spot. God gave you a heart that knows how to love and protect, but He also teaches love does not mean letting others take advantage of you. If you hear the warning bell within, stop, breathe deeply, and ask, "Lord, is this the light you send or the trap of darkness?" He will answer you with a silence that is luminous in your soul. I want you to try a small ritual. Write a short message in the comments, such as "I choose my peace" or "I protect my sanctuary." Each message is like a golden thread you tie around your soul, so the universe and God can see you are ready to rise. It is not a game. It is your declaration that you are cutting away an old cycle that has bound you for far too long. Cancer, remember, you were not born to be a victim. You were born to be the one who sees through the veil, who breaks the invisible chains that generations before you could not sever. That is why the shadow chose you, because the light you carry is too powerful. But it is also why God stands closer to you than ever before, shielding you and giving you strength. And prepare yourself, because what comes next is even greater. Not only manipulated humans, but you yourself, the Cancer soul, are stepping into the final test, the crossroads where every choice will shape the path ahead. If you are still here, leave the words "I claim my peace" in the comments. These are not just letters. They are a voice ringing in the unseen world declaring Cancer has awakened. And when you type those words, I know you are ready to move on to the next part where your soul will face the destined trial. Cancer, sit still for a moment. I want you to close your eyes to listen to the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Can you feel it? In that rhythm, there is not only the flow of blood, but also the echo of generations before you, of souls who once walked through the very same battle you are about to face. And they whisper, "Do not let your heart be forged into the chains of another, for darkness never walks alone. It needs a hand to cling to. It needs someone to serve as a mirror. And painfully, that hand is sometimes a familiar face. Someone who once sat beside you, who once promised to protect you, who once made you believe they belonged to your circle of safety, your inner sanctum. Yet the excessive care, the sweet promises, the seemingly accidental appearances, all of it was only a rope to pull you into a game of control. I remember a moment in my own life when a close friend called me in the middle of the night, their voice trembling, pleading for help. I rushed to them, opening my home and pouring out every ounce of myself to save them. But what I received in return was nothing more than a staged game. I was drawn into their chaos, made into a shield for their fears and mistakes. It was then that I learned not everyone who calls upon your compassion truly needs it. Some are only carrying their own shadows and unconsciously letting those shadows swallow all of your light. Cancer, do you recall the last time someone spoke to you with words that felt too sweet, but your heart sensed something was off? Do not dismiss that feeling. It is God Himself who placed within you a spiritual radar to discern truth from illusion. Do not let the glimmer in someone's eyes make you forget the truth. He is testing you. Will you hear my voice, or will you let your compassion be used once again? I want you to do something brave right now. Leave in the comments a message for your own soul, such as, I choose the truth, I protect my light, or I am no longer a puppet of darkness. When you write it, it is not just words, it is a vow to your spirit. Each message becomes a golden brick, building the sacred wall that God and the universe are raising with you. And when many Cancerians leave their words together, that light will weave into a circle of radiance surrounding us all. Do you see? This is not only for you, this is the lesson for all humanity. Do not let deceit dressed in love fool us. Do not turn a generous heart into an open gate for darkness to enter. Sometimes, real love is the courage to say no, and that is how you teach the world that love does not mean sacrificing yourself without end. Cancer, do not tremble. Even if those closest to you are manipulated by darkness, your light is strong enough to shatter that veil. I believe in your strength, and I believe in God's promise. Whoever holds truth in their heart, I will uphold. Rise, do not be afraid. This is not merely danger. This is the call for you to end the old cycle and open the path of rebirth your soul has long awaited. And remember, darkness has one more cunning strike. It will not only borrow someone's hands to hurt you, it is preparing to test your soul with a trial of destiny. The days ahead are crossroads of fate, where every decision you make will write the next 7 years of your soul's journey. If your heart beats faster hearing these words, write in the comments a prayer of your own. Tell God and the universe, I trust the light. I am no longer afraid. And when you do, you will feel a veil of peace surrounding you like the invisible arms of the Father above. But stay with me, because the story is not over. Beyond the darkness and human disguise, beyond the honeyed lies, there is another strike quietly approaching. It will not touch your body first, but will seek to shake your mind, to steal your peace, to shatter your sleep into fragments. And that cancer is the test your soul must learn to overcome. Do you wish to hear the next warning? If you are ready, leave in the comments. I am ready for the truth, and remember to press like as a sacred seal, so that God's light may cover and protect you for the next 72 hours. Cancer, now we have stepped into the climax. I want you to listen carefully, for what I am about to share is not just a warning, it is a sacred right for your soul. The next 3 days 70, 2 hours as fragile as a strand of silk, are the crossroads of destiny. This is the moment when the entire universe, along with God, is watching to see whether you will choose the light or drift into shadow. And I must confess, this is not only about others with hidden schemes. It is about you, about how you face yourself. Do you remember the feeling when life seemed to be finally steady, only for a storm to strike, suddenly collapsing everything you had built like a castle of sand? That is no accident. It is a karmic cycle repeating itself in your life. God does not want you trapped in that wheel forever. He uses the very cracks, the very betrayals to test your heart. Will you rise, trust the light, and cut the old chains? Cancer, your soul stands at a junction. One path leads into darkness, where you keep enduring, keep sacrificing for those unworthy. Keep your emotional walls up, yet vulnerable. The other leads into light, into rebirth, where you are no longer the victim, but the one who illuminates, who protects your own sacred wellspring. I know your heart is weary from loss. I, too, have sat alone at night, trembling with unseen fears, asking God, why am I tested so much? And in the silence I heard an answer, not to break you, but to help you find the strength you never knew you had. Do you see? The greatest danger is not the test itself, but your doubt in yourself. the fear that keeps you from stepping forward. Darkness always wants you to believe you are small, fragile, incapable, but the heart of Cancer is an ocean. Waves may crash, storms may rise, but the ocean never loses its vastness. Just like you, no matter how many times you have been broken, your soul still holds within it an undying light. And here is the lesson. Challenges do not come to destroy you, but to offer you a gift, a chance to look within, to place a period at the end of the old cycles, and to open 7 new years of freedom and light. God is giving you the choice. Remain in the familiar darkness, or walk the narrow path that leads to the dawn of your soul. I want you to pause and ask yourself, how long has it been since I truly listened to my heart? Have you always listened to others, always trusted others, but not the small voice within the guardian of your inner sanctuary? Do not let another night pass without writing down your promise. Leave in the comments, I choose the light. I trust my soul. When you write it, you are not just typing, you are engraving a new covenant into your spirit. Each word is a vow, a sacred candle lighting the darkness around you. Cancer, I know you cannot easily abandon anyone, but do not forget God promised. Whoever holds on to the light, I will give them peace. You do not need to sacrifice to prove your love. You do not need to turn your heart into a battlefield for others to test their strength. True love does not demand blood and tears, but asks for honesty, respect, and gratitude. You may think, if I walk away, I will lose everything, but look deeper. What you lose are only chains. What you gain are wings. Remember, darkness never wins against a soul that has chosen to rise. And you, Cancer, are being called to do just that. But I will not stop here, for there is more. Another message I see written in the stars. It is the truth of the secret reward waiting for you beyond this trial. A radiant doorway. A soul companion who honors your depths. A sacred treasure that God and the universe have prepared solely for you. If you are still here, your heart is ready. Press like to seal your choice with a prayer. Share so that the light you have chosen multiplies and reaches other Cancerians who need it. And subscribe not just to receive another video, but to become part of the circle of souls where together we rise beyond the dark.